What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Knives of the Round Table, and this time we're taking a look at a knife that hasn't been reviewed in the entire internet, and that is the Benchmade Bugout. Okay, that's a lie. Okay, it's one of the knives that has been reviewed the most in the internet, so chances are, this is not a video, this is not a clickbait video, right? Just because many other people will have a video on this knife, but I did want to make my own video because I decided to make it one of the pieces for comparison in my channel. When you're starting a YouTube channel, and this is probably my 10th or 12th video or something like that, when you make a channel, one of the things that you have to decide is what are going to be my knife comparison pieces. You see Metal Complex, he decided on the Griptilians, the full-size Griptilian, the mini Griptilian. Nick Shabazz, he has the Delica, as kind of unique pieces that they decided to use. For me, I decided to go with the two Bugouts, the full-size Bugout and the mini Bugout, and the Para 2 and the Para 3. And the reason I decided that is because so the Bugout is kind of a newer model. It's not a new model, but it's a newer model in the Benchmade lineup. There's certainly knives that have been in their lineup for a lot longer. The Griptilian being one of them, the 940 being another one. But I think the success and the affordability and of the Bugout, that you can find it everywhere, that there's versions of this that are very economical, and there's versions like this one that are a little bit higher end. I think in a couple of years we're going to be looking back and saying that the Bugout is going to be pushing the 940 as one of Benchmade's iconic knives. I think the availability, the chance for customization is just gonna increase, and the Bugout is gonna become more and more ubiquitous in the knife community, more than it already is. Okay, so this version of the knife it's straight from Benchmade. Okay, I did not customize this, and I think you can get this one still. It has an aluminum handle that is kind of darker, and it's really attractive. It has the red thumb studs and back spacers, and it has an M390 blade. So this is definitely one of the premium versions of the Bugout. It's probably not the most premium version. There's a carbon fiber S90V version of the knife, but as I've said many times in my channel, I like it when it's a little bit heavier, and this one definitely fills that role. So the Bugout, I don't know how much I should say about it because everybody knows it, but this is 3¼ inch blade, and it's hard to say a size comparison because, well, it's my knife comparison, my knife size comparison, right? But I'll compare it. Here's the mini Bugout, okay? And obviously the full size to the mini, the mini is way smaller. Now the mini, it's strange because you can still get a full 4-finger grip. So I think they did a good job with the sizing of the Bugouts, especially the full size one. 3¼ inch is my ideal size for a blade. It fits my hand perfectly. And if I compare it to that's the Para 3, okay, and then we've got the Para 2, okay, and what you'll find is that it has almost an identical blade length or sharpened blade length as the Para 2, okay, but in size, it's, especially in the pocket, it's a lot more comparable to the Para 3. See, it's even a little bit shorter in this dimension. It's certainly shorter in this dimension. So while it carries better than a Para 3, it has the same blade length as a Para 2. So that's really good. I think one of the reasons that this knife is so popular and why it's grown in following is precisely because of how easily it carries. They put a deep carry pocket clip, so this one melts in your pocket. It disappears in your pocket. If you're looking for something that you forget that you have on there, the Bugout is an excellent version. Now, if you do something like a carbon fiber scale on it, even more so. So ergonomics are okay. It's a little bit thin and it's a little bit small for my hand. Okay, I kind of go all the way around it. But this is a knife, with as thin a blade as it has, that is not meant for hard use, right? It's more for everyday tasks, for a little bit of food prep, opening packages, that kind of stuff. So this is not the one, if you're going to be, cutting wood all day long, this is not the knife that you're going to take for that. So it has a very neutral handle that will work. It's just got this Coke bottle thing going on, so you can hold it, a reverse grip, hammer grip, saber grip, all of those grips, because it has such a neutral handle, all of those things work. So ergonomics are okay, but they're great for what the knife is trying to do, right? It's not trying to do a hard use knife. It's not trying to do anything else, and you can hold it in a variety of grips. So I think it's a neutral handle and it works well as far as it goes. Cutting, it's a really good cutter. It has a really thin blade. Let me see if I can compare it in thickness to if you see the thickness of a blade between the Bugout and the Parrot 2. So it has a thinner blade than the Parrot 2, and the Parrot 2 is already a really good slicer. This one is even more so. So for anything like food prep, like cutting apples, slicing through cardboard, those kinds of things, this is really, really good. Even if you don't have a big handle or a big ergonomic handle to push through stuff, like I said, I don't think you're going to be pushing through very hard stuff and very hard material. So this will do a really good job at cutting. Now, fit and finish, I would say that, well, this version of the knife, I would say it's actually very good. There's a consistency to Benchmade knives, with the Bugout, with the Adamas, with all of the knives that they make. There's a consistency there on their axis lock, I think they've done really good job at centering blades here lately. So I think it's good. In this particular version of the knife, the milling of the starburst, it's really, really nice. So I'm gonna just show you how that shimmers as it catches the light. It's actually really nice. I have a Grimsmo with a starburst. Well, I had a Grimsmo with a starburst, and it looked very similar to that. The milling on the aluminum handle is really well made. I think they've done an excellent job. At some point, I hope that we have to stop talking about Omega springs. Every knife reviewer out there tells you that they've never had a problem with Omega springs, but people sometimes say that they break. Well, if the people who are reviewing knives that handle thousands and thousands of knives, that use their knives, if none of them are having problems, well, it's not a problem. Okay, so no, the Omega spring is not a problem. Okay, it's not a problem until there's one of every 10,000 knives that's going to have a problem, and then every other locking mechanism out there is going to have a problem at one at every 10,000. It's just the way it goes. Okay, so let's stop talking about the Omega springs. So like I said, fit and finish, excellent. Action, again, there's a consistency to Benchmade action, right? When you pull on the axis lock, the blade just drops. It's just free, right? And when you deploy it, it's actually pretty good, So when I grade actions, I would say that the Benchmade is fidgety. I think I enjoy having it in my hands. I don't think it's it's too snappy. I do think it drops shut, um, but it's but I would classify this action as unique, okay, because of the axis lock, and while there's other knives that have a standard bar lock, um, I think that the Benchmade action is unique, and I actually enjoy it. I don't think it's the best action in the world, but I also think I would classify it as one of its strengths, not as one of its weaknesses. Let me say it like that. Now, the airing of grievances. Okay, what I do not like about the knife, not a lot, not a lot. And one of the things that happens with knives like this is that, well, this version of the knife I think is very attractive, but the basic version of the knife, I would call it a fairly vanilla knife. Okay, it's got a very neutral blade. There's nothing aggressive about it. It's very useful, a very neutral handle. There's nothing in the design that screams at you and says, "Hey, look at me," because, like, if I showed you a different blade, so that's the Something Obscene Company J Cape. Well, that's screaming at you, right? I mean, it's got a lot of things going for it. You see the difference? And the Bugout, it doesn't do that. This is a knife that will, appeal to a far greater audience, but it's unlikely to be anybody's favorite knife. Okay, most people will have it in their collection. Most people will use it. Most people will enjoy it, but it's vanilla ice cream. Okay, it's what you would. It's a safe option. So I think if I were to say, what do you dislike, maybe it's that it's more vanilla. I think that's the best description. I think it's adequate. I do want to point out that one of the biggest strengths of this knife is that if you get one of the base versions, I wouldn't modify this one. I think this one is really attractive as it is. But if you get one of the base versions, you can get the aftermarket availability of scales and hardware for the Bugout is almost as good as you have for the paramilitary knives. You can get a carbon fiber. This is from Rogue Blade Works. You can get titanium. You can get copper, bronze. You can get all kinds of micarta, and you can change this knife to your heart's content. In fact, a lot of people I've seen where they do blade swaps, they put a satin blade on this and put this black blade on something else. You can do that. So I think customizability is something that is awesome. So it's hard not to recommend the Bugout. I think it's probably one of my most recommended knives. If I know that a friend of mine is looking for something to just have in his pocket and use as a tool, something that it's not going to be too obtrusive, that's what I would recommend. I think it's an excellent choice, and I think some years from now, we're going to be talking about the Bugout in the same sense that we talk about the 940, okay, as one of Benchmade's landmarks, as one of the ones where if you do a Mount Rushmore, this would be out there. Probably not yet, but I think it'll get there. And the design I think it's really good. It's really neutral, and I think it'll appeal to a lot of people. Well, guys, if you enjoyed the do the thing, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all those things, and until I see you again, take care.